Good evening. Tonight we are going on a journey into an opulent world of Indian temple dancers and gods. We'll meet brave young warriors and even cross the threshold of life itself as we enter into the kingdom of the shades. I'm Petrok Trelawney, and tonight we are exploring La Bayadère. We're going to see dancers from the Royal Ballet in action as they prepare for the opening night of this exquisite ballet. And the legendary ballerina and dancer Natalia Makarova will put our dancers through their paces in one of our live rehearsals. I'll also be asking whether the Indian temples of La Bayadère are built on shaky foundations, with my guests, the choreographer Shobana Jaya Singh and principal guest teacher Olga Evrenov, as we talk about the thorny issue of cultural appropriation. Some basics about La Bayadère. It was created by the dramatist Sergei Kudakov and choreographer Marius Petipa and premiered in Russia in 1877. The ballet tells the story of a forbidden love affair between temple dancer Nikiya and the warrior Solor. The Raja's jealous daughter Gamzatti, who is betrothed to Solor, conspires with a high priest to kill Nikiya. The heartbroken Solor fails to wed Gamzatti, thus enraging the gods and dooming the kingdom. Well, choreographer Natalia Makarova saw La Bayadère as a child growing up in Leningrad. Her production premiered here at the Royal Ballet in 1989. Let's see some of it right now. In rehearsal, we're going to see Nikiya and Gamzatti's dramatic confrontation in Act 1 of La Bayadère. Please welcome Natalia Makarova, our pianist Kate Shipway, principal character artist Kirsten McNally, and principal dancers from the Royal Ballet, Akane Takada and Yasmin Nagdi.
Let me introduce. This is Nikiya, lyrical role. That's Gamzatti. She is the killer. So different background. This is child of the jungle, temple, and this child of the rich family, and spoiled child. Eh? She has everything. And we're going to play the scene, which is, well, you will see better. Okay. Yes? Let's start. Huh? Okay. So can you figure out what is what? Uh-huh. So that is your stool, yes? Here. Oh, we don't have a, do you have a bracelet? No. We didn't bring. Have mine. Give me back. Don't do this. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to be by back. Huh? That's what they put me in. Excuse me. Sometimes I turn. All right, let's start. Katie, please. Don't rush. Imagine, take time. Wait. Can I correct you just in a second? I think you can be with the body more expressive. Okay. First was good. Come. Tense in the muscles, and you are It's big pain, find out your future husband in love with other woman, right? So it has to be in muscle. So it's already you don't know, you've never been in that situation. Suddenly, you're totally destroyed. And suddenly maybe somebody here. No, I'm alone. And take time to go portrait and take time from him. Imagine here in your head how you get married, yeah? And also take time, don't come too early to portrait. Solor, 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 yeah? And here big gesture, like, oh, Solor, I love you, and exhaustion from emotion, yes? You can start with nice part de bras, yes? And then it's just collapse inside. Okay. If it's that feeling, you go, I think you should put, I think, no, it's after she will use, not yet. So you can put here, yes, here, and make it really, really painful. Nobody think you yet, okay. You know? Mm-hmm. Try again. Just imagine, isn't it? Oh, Solor, oh, Solor. Recover. Don't rush. You're rushing too much. Smooth. Calm, in the pace of the music. Come here, stop here. Okay, shall I stop it? Thank you, Casey. Lots of passion here. You can do better here. From you to him with all your love. Here with the body. Mm-hmm. You do only by arms. I need with the body. should be more organic. What I want to say. Oh, darling, I think you always behave very, you cannot suddenly run in. You very carefully not to disturb her, no? So you have to go, where is she? Yeah, так. And also she said, Bayadère coming in, right? So well, all this big, like, yeah? And don't rush also. Your first time in that place, in that palace, is overwhelmed. You just don't know. See her. Yeah, very respectable. And yes. And then don't run. It's just, she said, come in. Just a little bit modest, You not just come in, yeah? And next. First of all, I think, don't, if you're sitting here, so you look there, first is a thought. What can I do? You're already skimming before, yes? Said, oh, all right, I can buy her. Yes. And then, when she said, no, thank you, don't look where you put my bracelet. Just throw away. Just put it like that, without looking. All concentration for her. Later, we go, do you like this? Yes, okay. Then, next. Your goal, your aim, just to see her reaction, how she recognizes him with love and which kind of feeling. So, but what about make a, just and look, yeah? Mm-hmm. So don't be too aggressive at the beginning. So it's just sneaky, right? Maybe we start from you, yeah? Okay. The Nikiya entrance, please. Oh, wait a second. Before we stop, when she throw you away, don't go that way, go more that way, so be opposite of her there. And you shock why she behave like that. What did I do? And when, don't come too close. She showed that's what I'm going to marry. Little more spontaneous come, yeah? And not too late, because you start already with music go. Yeah. And then get more insulted, and I cannot hear anymore. And don't say, you, don't say Bayadère, no. You say, you just Bayadère. Just get out of here, right?
Yes.
So don't make importance of her, right? With that gesture. Right, with Nikiya, please. And put head down, chin down. Put 2 steps this way. Get your strength back. With the hands. Come here, come here. Yes, you have to go. In the center. And so, long body. No, by her feet, yeah. Uh-huh.
I should be on center.
Yeah. The curtain goes. So, you didn't do a few steps with her and go back and watch, intensely watch what is her reaction. Because little too early, so you arrive to put her, yeah? Just slightly.
A little bit, okay.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, it needs something with, and lower, and that. I think it's not enough clear when you gave her the necklace. So you're here, no? You're here. So if you have, okay, take that. She said, no, take it. Take it. Oh, no, don't throw me. I'm fragile. Well. But it's okay, it's coming. Yeah. I just don't know what. It needs something more from inside of you, not on the top, you know, it's just not on surface. Just really get, and you listen to her, start believe it, it's true. He swear, when he said, he come a little bit more mystical, more fanatical, here coming forward. Fire, sacred, and come to a little bit more close. And he, to me, love, swear, and he's mine. Yeah? So don't stay so far from portrait. So you come down on the fire, and more fanatically, yeah? When he said, and he, to me, yeah? You tell, so you know what is true. Yes, it's convincing to me. Just remember in your head how swear for your love, swear, and he is mine forever because he swear eternal love around the fire. Right. What about from her entrance, and I will not stop, go to the end. And really use your body, and don't be modest in that case. I know also, when is last chance to back her, and she's with the dagger, yeah? Can you express more panic in your body?
Okay.
That, yeah. It covers, yeah? Yeah. Right? Little more physical has to be, yeah? All right. Yeah? So, when you turn, just turn here. So don't turn like that, yes? Just turn. Not rush, don't rush. Just yeah, okay. Please. Pace in the music. Just small here. Oh, she's beautiful. No. I need more spontaneity and urgency from you two. You're just quite indifferent compared with passion. He's mine. He can't believe, no. Yeah, something else. Yeah, darling, I can. You see, you go against the pace in the music. Suddenly it goes fast, and music. So behave with your body the same way I would dictate your music. It's a little bit carrying yourself. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Should we go from
Huh?
Do you want to go from bracelet?
Give it me back.
So on.
Right. No, from stand up from here. Don't, when she said, how you look, yeah? So, you down there? She wants to look, yeah? Oh, she's beautiful, yes. So don't see reaction of her. Right. A little longer, yeah. Okay, it's just, do you know when she arrived? React more. Long steps. He is mine. I tell you a story. Dangerous lady. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
You look so delicate, and you.
Well, I think at that moment of high drama, proving what a dangerous place the stage can be, we're going to pause this wonderful insight into the rehearsal of La Bayadère. Thank you all very much indeed for now. Natalia Makarova, Hakene Takata, Yasmin Nagdi, Kristen McNally, and Kate Shipway playing piano. And Yasmin and Natalia will be back to rehearse more with us a little bit later on in this live broadcast. And that scene which you saw them rehearsing there comes from Act 1, Scene 2 of La Bayadère, which is set in a room in the palace. You will be able to see the true glamour of the palace in the Royal Ballet's production, which opens here at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, on the 1st of November. It will also be in cinemas across the world, live on the 13th of November. Hope you can either join us here in person or on the big screen. Full details of performances and our cinema broadcast at the Royal Opera House website. As always, we'd love to hear from you this evening. Let us know where you're watching. Perhaps if you've got experience of seeing La Bayadère in the past, we'd love to hear about great productions and great dancers that you've seen. Contribute via our YouTube page. La Bayadère is a key part of any ballet company's repertoire and has its foundations firmly rooted in a rich balletic tradition. To talk about Marius Petipa's vision for this ballet and its representation of India, I'm pleased to welcome principal guest teacher Olga Ovrenov and choreographer Shobana Jayasingh. Let me start by asking you both about your first experience of La Bayadère. Olga, where did you see it?
Well, I sort of grew up with it because I went to school in then Leningrad, and of course it's the ballet that has stayed in the rep practically non-stop and only there. It has not been danced in Moscow, for instance, for quite a long period. Yes, I grew up with it as a teenager. And actually, first time I saw it, I must have been about 6 or 7, and it was just the scene of shades. So, but backstage, so to speak, I've been staging Natasha's production since '89, which says something about my age.
Shobana, what about you? When did you first see La Bayadère?
I think I saw it in early 90s in London, and I hadn't seen that much ballet. So, and I was really interested because at that point I was actually an Indian dancer. I was doing Indian classical dance. So I was just amazed to see that there was a ballet which had an Indian dancer as in its main role. And I think in the first 5 minutes, I think my first reaction was to get up and shout, "That's not me!"
Of course.
But you didn't?
No, I didn't. So it was a strange experience. I mean, obviously, as a dancer and someone who at that time was just beginning to choreograph, there was just so much to love. I mean, like the scene that we just saw, this is one of my favorite scenes. And I think especially so...
Indian there.
Well, you know, in a way, that's what I find very Indian. It's not in the rhetoric of what people wear, but like all good theatre, and Indian classical dance is full of scenes like that, which are about very a lot of care for gestures, for psychological impact, for the sheer drama, and for the projection of some things in a great sort of iconic manner. So that's something that actually is not just Indian probably, but that's just of all great dance and drama all over the world.
Did you have any sense of authenticity in any way about it, or was it a pastiche for you, an Indian scene rather than reality?
Not really. There's nothing that I think that is authentically Indian or anything that reminds me of Indian classical dance. I suppose the only scene that's vaguely Indian is that scene with the lady with the pot and the two little girls who are trying to ask her to give them some water. Yeah, but in the original one. So I think it's in the Paris Opera Ballet version of it. So that one, because it's a scene that sometimes comes up in Indian classical dance performances. There's a character called Radha who carries not water but actually milk, and people do ask her. So apart from that, there isn't really anything that, I mean, that's why, you know, cultural appropriation probably isn't the right word, because it isn't really appropriating anything from Indian culture as such.
Because Petipa, the great dance maker, prided himself on being accurate, didn't he, with his national
No, I don't
dance?
think so. I don't think so. You see, you have to put it into the larger perspective of 1870s and or second half of 19th century, where a lot of ballets, I mean, a lot of ballets are situated, placed in imaginary fantasy lands, be it Egypt, be it underwater Danube, be it India. I don't think it's meant to be historically accurate. It's a sort of, every time a different setup is a pretext for dance. You know, it's not the only exotic or Orientalia ballet, as it is not, as we have operas and we have painting, after all, you know, that is certainly not accurate, but it's part of its time. And I think the strength, in this case, you know, not talking very largely, but specifically the strength of Bayadère, which happened to have a very lucky, in many ways, fate, is, I would say, well, it's a combination. Yes, of course, it's the way that the drama unfolds and so on. It's a bit quite gripping, if that's the English word. But it's actually in the white scene. Every classical ballet of that period has what we call a white act. But I think the one, the scene of shades in Bayadère is quite unique, because Minkus is Minkus. We all know he wrote music. He was told how many bars of this and that he has to write. But I think that in case of shades, it's a very happy union, and it's an extraordinary choreography. It's a sort of, it's really pure minimalism, because the group of girls, it's not just made out, you know, they repeat the step that Nikiya dances or does before she dies, bitten by a snake. And so it's sort of a continuous string of girls who come on as you know, it's happening in his head. It's not a reality.
And I think when the new Mariinsky Theatre opened, they were able to show off the width of the stage in early productions with, I think, 48 dancers.
32.
But I think they went. I read they went up to 48 at the Mariinsky on a few occasions. But there's that sense, Shabana, isn't there, of it being a kind of impressionistic moment of dance that seems way ahead of its time in many ways.
Yes, because actually, you know, as a contemporary choreographer, I think that's, you know, it's an amazing act to see that, you know, even at that time, actually there was a kind of a real enjoyment of just pure movement for itself. But I mean, this is one of the things that, you know, you were asking me about watching it for the first time, is a sort of a real, I was just torn between so many different emotions. You know, on one hand, there's this beautiful scene, but as an coming from my background, one of the things I also notice is that throughout the whole of the ballet, people wear these exotic costumes. Suddenly, when they're in heaven, they're wearing white tutus.
Well, we are.
You could have think. So maybe in heaven they don't have harem pants? Is a question I asked myself.
Not in 1870.
They don't have
No,
harem pants
no.
heaven.
In 1870, there's no way you could have a white act other than in white tutus.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It was just one of those fixed points of the Russian ballet that had to.
Russian or French or, well, there wasn't much else, but yes, it's inimaginable. for
Actually,
it to
it was quite interesting when you talked about accuracy, because there's one thing that's incredibly accurate. It's actually where the ballet is set, because it says at the court of Golconda. And actually, not many Indians even remember Golconda now. But when I was researching the background to this ballet, I was actually quite amazed, because Golconda is near modern-day Hyderabad. And it was actually very, very, very rich Muslim court, because it was near a diamond mine. Actually, that's where the Kohinoor, which is in the Queen's crown, and the Hope diamonds, a lot of very famous diamond actually came from Golconda. So in some ways, it's, you know, I was always kind of quite fascinated that he chose that particular court, that particular place in South India, to set this ballet.
Your research was when you were creating your work, The Ninth Life, here at the Linbury Theatre at Covent Garden 3 years ago now. What did you want to do with that? How did you want to move the Bayadère concept forward?
Well, one thing I didn't want to, there was not much point in me restaging it with Indian dancers, because actually I don't think, you know, the plot is a kind of a universal plot of love and betrayal and death. So, but for me, what was interesting, because when I saw that ballet, what I wanted to find out immediately was, you know, why that ballet had been composed, why was it set in India? And one of the things that I found out in my research is that in 1838, for the very, very first time, a French impresario actually brought 5 Indian classical dancers, temple dancers from South India to Paris. And I think Marius Petipa actually might have seen one of their shows. And of course, Théophile Gautier wrote in his diary about his encounter with these Bayadères. So,
And they became huge stars, didn't they? I mean, if you hadn't seen the Bayadères, you'd somehow failed in...
I don't think everyone liked, certainly when they came to the Adelphi in London, they had horrible reviews. But I think it was definitely the thing to do. You had to go and see the real Bayadères. And also the whole concept of the Bayadère, in a way it had come from, it really, the first person to mention the word Bayadère was Marco Polo. So it really came from the sort of travel writing and the sort of exoticization of the East, which was very popular in the 19th century. But obviously, you know, now, in those days when there wasn't a lot of information known about India or the East, it had a particular potency. But now, you know, in some ways, the whole kind of Orientalist history, I think it will make an interesting context to a ballet like La Bayadère. Not to diminish any of the enjoyment that people get, but I think in some ways it would make it easier for people to understand why that ballet looks like the way it does now.
Olga, Natalia's energy and passion for this piece, as we've seen so far this evening, is undimmed after such a long association with it. When did you start working with her on it, and how did that
in 88, 89, that season, actually, yes.
Because I think she'd first staged the
in New York.
the Scene of Shades in New York alone.
Not just the Scene of Shades, and then eventually the whole ballet. And I was then working in American Ballet Theatre. It was at the time of Baryshnikov as a director. So I was not there at the original staging in New York, but that's where I learned the ballet, and then pass it on.
And how much of Petipa remains? I mean, that journey of his original thought.
That's a good question, and not just with Bayadère. I would say it's definitely the Shades scene, which is, you know, in my view, it is a masterpiece. It's unique. It's unique, and it's a stepping stone for any company.
Yeah.
Definitely, and a hard one. It is certain parts of wedding scene of Pas d'Action, not everything. There are not everything, and a lot of the mime actually is based on what it was now. Tempi were different. There were a lot of things that, you know, we don't dance the way dancers danced in 1870s. Inconceivable nowadays. But this is the fine line, you know, to keep the and that again. I mean, it's not anything that's specific just to Bayadère, but in classical ballet, and in this case, you add the Oriental or pseudo-Oriental element to it, but the balance between a style, a specific, you know, I call it sort of signature elements for each ballet. There are certain poses that principal characters have, which are inconfondibles. You cannot mix them with anything else, that they belong to this ballet. So between that, but not making it a dusty
pastiche.
Well, just something which is empty and formal. The shape is filled from within, and you know, it's a hard job.
So Petipa would still see plenty of evidence of his involvement.
Petipa did wonderful things, and you know, his Hudekov, wasn't it, who wrote the scenario, the libretto, whatever you call it. Yes, I think it's too, you know, you can't look for authentic. It's not a historical tool. It's full of faults, historical faults, ethnographical faults, geographical, and so on and so forth. But you know, I don't read Indian papers, but you open an Italian paper, and every day, you know, there is a fidanzata who stabbed a fidanzato or her rival, and so on and so forth.
I mean, all over the world.
These are the.
I think it's very authentically Oriental. And I think the Oriental is very different to the Indian.
Yes.
I think that's really what I'm trying to
So it is like those pictures that Olga was mentioning earlier on, and that obsession with Orientalism that
that's
swept,
right. I mean, it's
swept
a
across Europe.
fantastic Oriental text, but it's not a Indian text.
No.
You know, they're two different things.
But you know, you look at Delacroix or I mean Poussin, starting from and all the way to Ingres. I mean, it's all Orientalia. That is, of course, not authentic.
And it was how most people saw these.
It's part of the culture of that time.
Can I finish by asking about Bayadère today? Here we are in 2018, watching a ballet with dancers who, by and large, are not of Indian or Asian heritage, wearing idealized, exoticized versions of Indian dress. Does that cause any problems for you?
I think it'll only cause problems if people confuse it with India. So as long as that is made really clear, that it's got nothing at all to do with India, apart from the word Golconda, maybe, I think that will be fine. But I think if there's any confusion, I think that's rather sad to me. I mean, it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't actually stop anyone enjoying the choreography or the movement or the brilliant dancing, nothing at all. But it's just that as long as we understand that there was something historically and culturally very separate called Orientalism, and there was a very definite reason why it became so popular. And I think as long as we signal that, I think that'll be fine. So I think that really needs to be signaled, I feel.
I think that's a very good line you said about don't think of it as being about India, think of it as being about this concept of the Orient. Shobana, Olga, thank you both very much indeed.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to report that we have viewers with us live on YouTube across the world tonight in Brazil, Germany, Greece, Portugal, Canada, Taiwan, Estonia and Spain. And of course, our live audience here at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden. As we get ready for the next section of rehearsal, I'm delighted to welcome back principal dancer of the Royal Ballet, Yasmin Nagdi. Welcome, Yasmin. You are dancing the role of Gamzatti. Tell us about her character.
So my take on Gamzatti is she's a very strong character, very regal. She's used to getting her way. She's always been told yes, as we saw, exactly. And but I feel also that she, beneath the exterior, the hard exterior, lies a deep sensitivity, and I think we don't really see that side of Gamzatti apart from a few little pockets within the ballet. And I think one of those moments is when she walks on, the very first moment she comes on, she's really exposed. You'd see her deep thoughts, she's worried someone will see her, and I think, you know, that's a true human being. You know, we have these hard exteriors, we pretend everything's okay, but beneath that is a soul that has feelings, and I think Gamzatti showcases most of the time that strength, but I think it's important also to show a little bit of the sensitivity behind.
When was your first encounter with Bayadère?
My first encounter was, I think, when we did it 5 or 6 years ago. I was in the corps de ballet, and I think I did every single role that a small to medium girl would do in this ballet, including leading on all of the shades, every single performance, doing all those arabesques.
It is an extraordinary moment
It is.
of ballet, isn't it?
Breathtaking.
I mean, as our guest earlier was saying, it is one of those points of ballet that is just part of the absolutely essential to the repertoire. It's one of those sort of top 10 highlights, isn't it?
It is.
Why is it so special?
I think it's pure classicism, and it's very romantic, and I think it's a moment for the audience to just sit back and just watch this beauty in front of them and the beautiful lines, and to see all these beautiful women moving as one, breathing together, looking either side of them, making sure everyone works together, and that absolute team spirit and team effort is absolutely incredible, and I think everyone really appreciates seeing that, and it's amazing to be a part of it, and I feel very honoured to have been a part of it, and now to watch it and not be involved, I know how hard it is, and I think there's so much team spirit behind that, which is really amazing.
We're going to see you rehearsing more now. What are you going to rehearse?
So I'm going to be rehearsing Gamzatti's Act 1 variation. It's a very bright and joyous solo with lots of jumps. It's a virtuosity solo.
Wonderful. I'm going to take the microphone because that's one thing you won't need. Yasmin, thank you very much indeed. Please welcome back Natalia Makarova and Kate Shipway at the piano.
Don't here. Warm a little bit. Huh? You jump now. Come on, run. Yeah. Take your time. Now is a real thing. It's real classical dancing, classical style, which is quite difficult, right? Yeah. And okay, yes. Maybe you take off now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Introduction. Yeah. Okay, let's stop. I see you not warm up yet, yeah? Yeah. No. Normally she jump higher. True, yes? Yeah. Yeah. So more hip. Yeah. And yeah. After padisha, you have to go here, right? In the fifth. Yeah. Yeah. And little make a statement in this, right? Who you are. And here, big Batman. And hips on the leg, huh? Start again. Please. And fifth. More down. Use more body. And go. Wait. I said, be careful now. Yeah, yeah, you can use, this is nice, but here you can go more glamorous. Yeah. With head up and out. Yeah? And take your shoulder out. Yes, for the right.
Attitude.
And finish, but continue. Go and balance it. And yeah, let's start from here. I think you have to go head here and there.
Okay, a little bit more.
Not back. It's just on the leg, and put all. It's okay. Before diagonal. And bound and go. Good. And shape your elbows. Okay, stop. Okay. Yeah. Every time the same diagonal, the same place. Pick here. Yeah. Sometimes you go here, just the same. And show your back as soon as possible. No, on the pirouette. Okay. Pirouette. Yeah. No, not shoulders really. Yeah. Okay. And here you can do better for arabesque. Show your back to here. Yeah. And pull back. And chenet, more compact. Okay, let's do it again. And ta. Good. Stop and go. That's stay, push, not like that. Yeah, and higher on the here, higher. Yeah, okay. It's okay. Shall we do fete?
Yes.
You okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Coda, please. Sorry. Okay? Yes, Katie? Stay. Stay. Knee. You can do faster, yeah? And more side, yeah? Now you remember, you put head down, yes. And what I have to say? Hold the last one, Italian, just a little bit hold. And what is that with preparation? Suddenly you go something funny feet. Yeah, no? And here, yeah. Yeah, all right, okay. Would you like to repeat the just fast for it?
Fast for 10, yes.
Just end of the Italian for it. Little more. Faster. From down. Yeah. Okay. But decided. You do simple or double? What you do? Okay.
At the moment, yeah.
We don't decide now. I think you're done with tutu.
Okay.
Right?
Put my skirt on.
Huh?
I'll put my skirt on.
Yeah,
for
we
the
have
next
time. We can show you one more variation if you want to. Yeah?
Make me work.
Huh?
Put my skirt.
Okay. Take a breath. Wait.
Oh, okay.
Good girl. No, we didn't finish yet. Huh? Thank you. That's Solor from the last act, before the actual wedding, and before destruction, apocalypse. So she's doing that for her fiancé, try to attract him more. And that's act, last act was Petipa did it in 1877. And then after the revolution, they lost it, the scenery. And so the last act will never be performed. The Mariinsky Theatre, then Leningrad, Kirov Ballet, finished with Kingdom of the Shade. Was finished. But in my opinion, it is not the basic idea of Marius Petipa, because his idea of crime and punishment. So in Russia, they didn't do any more punishment. But I reconstructed original idea of Petipa with my memory, with the, well, it's my taste, à la Petipa. And through up. And continue. Finish croisé. Little bit higher. Through up. Wait a second, let's do that again. Beginning of that. Yeah? We repeat. Don't rush to go there. Establish it. And try to do pirouette, finish croisé, and then swingle.
Okay.
Here. Wait a second. And also here. Little bit higher.
Okay, a little bit higher.
Yeah. Here. Play with elbow. More upper body. Through the back, through the foot, high leg, and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, out. Out, out. Don't be late. All right. Still you can do better. You here and there. Here and turn with the body. Not hand, not arm to the body to the arm. Yeah. Here, look here. Here. With the neck and everything. So it has to be changed. Connect. Can you just connect?
Yes.
Yeah. More. Yes. More. Yeah. But try to do next time. So you didn't paint your face. And here, look at him. I'm beautiful. That's me. And again, and up. Yeah. So you forgot to put the chin down. Wait a second. Just, yes, okay. Here you also can be more upper body. That's it. Use the elbow. Okay, the manège, too fast or too slow?
Maybe a bit fast.
Too fast.
A little bit. Never know the right answer.
Go out on piqué.
Travel out more.
Yeah. Just from the left leg. And again, yeah. Stay high on the hips here. A little bit more mischievous. Position more mischievous here. How it is? Look there. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Manege, please. And 1, 2, good. Out, out. Now, use the body, use. Better. Yeah. Tired, yeah? Tired.
A little bit tired.
Okay.
It's good.
We have to finish. Tomorrow is a very heavy day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yasmin and Natalia, and of course, thank you, Kate, our pianist this evening. I'm afraid we've pretty much reached the end of our live broadcast on YouTube this evening. Don't forget, you can see the Royal Ballet perform La Bayadère here at the Royal Opera House from the 1st of November, and it will be in cinemas on Tuesday, the 13th of November. To find a screening near you, just look at the Royal Opera House website. All the details are there. Good evening to Ricardo Montilla, who says, I'm watching and learning in Colombia. Musicosis says, if you get the chance to visit the Royal Opera House, do. It's amazing. I think we've seen that this evening. And Helen Stanley says, Makarova has such wit and intelligence, genius. That is something I know everybody here would agree with after seeing her extraordinary coaching of these dancers on the ballet that she created, which we'll be able to see here next month here at the Royal Opera House. Thank you very much indeed to our audience here in London. Thank you to our audience around the world on YouTube. For now, from the Royal Ballet in London, good night.